Vasanthi Stanley, DMK, Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha. D. Raja, CPI MP in the Rajya Sabha. Dr. V. Maitriyan, AIADMK MP in the Rajya Sabha. Manika Tagore, Congress MP in the Lok Sabha. Smriti Irani, President of the BJP Mahila Morcha and Member of Parliament. Subramanian Swamy, my first question is to you, Mr. Swamy. Simply put, Dr. Swamy, what is the question here? Obviously, we have to be against human rights violations. We have to vote against the Sri Lankan government because the manner in which a 12-year-old boy's bullet-ridden body has been exposed, that this is the kind we've heard about human rights abuses of all kinds. I mean, whatever the geostrategic reasons that may be, leave that aside. On human rights, do we stand against human rights or for human rights? Dr. Swamy.
That's a typical wife-beating question, and it's wholly inappropriate here. The question is, human rights something which are sacred to a democratic country, but this is not a question about human rights. The resolution that has been drafted is so insipid. The only thing wrong with it is, or worthy of comment, is that it's one-sided. There's no mention of the horrendous atrocities carried out by the LTT for the last 20 years. So I think we need now to move forward. The most important question before the Tamils in Sri Lanka is getting devolution of power and a state where they can have local interests pursued. That is the issue on which India should work on, and they should bring a substitute resolution saying that the Sri Lankan government will be given a time period within which they have to do it.
No.
And that's something that they are also committed in Sri Lanka to do. But they must do it now.
One sec. Dr. Subramanian Swamy, are you saying that we should be blind to the manner in which a 12-year-old boy was killed? What is the 12-year-old boy's fault? That he is the son of Prabhakaran? Is that his fault?
It's very touching that you have so much faith in British television, which is capable of producing all kinds of things about Kashmir and Manipur at all times. I don't even know how the man was killed. Prabhakar himself was so cruel that he could easily put human beings as shield for his people, for his soldiers. So we don't know in what circumstances this shooting took place. All we have is a body with a bullet riddle, which has several bullets in it. I don't think we can act on these television tapes that we see. Many of them are not worthy of even being considered seriously.
Sir, if there has to be a sense of closure, there has to be an independent investigation. If it has nothing to hide, why is the Sri Lankan government not opening itself up to an independent investigation? I want to get the other participants in. I'm going to come back to you, Subramanian Swamy, because I can tell you tonight on this panel, you're a bit of a minority. We're going to come back to you. But let me draw in at this point Mr. D. Raja. Mr. D. Raja, you heard the position there of Subramanian. He said it proves nothing. We don't believe British television. It can all be concocted. Prabhakaran may have done it himself.
I think Dr. Swamy should understand what Sri Lankan government has admitted. It is Sri Lankan government has admitted it was a war. 8,000 people were killed in the war. 8,000 people is not a small number. And this 12-year boy, he could be the son of Mr. Prabhakaran, but he was 12-year boy, young boy. How he was killed in such a horrendous manner. Mr. Swamy should understand it is not only British channel, other Indian channels, headlines today expose the killing fields of Sri Lanka. In fact, Rajapaksa government wanted that war to go as war without witness. And now we have witness, we have evidence. The United Nations Secretary General's panel has said there is credible evidence against war crimes, and human rights violations. There are two parts. One is war crimes and human rights violence.
Simply want to understand.
The other part is political solution to Sri Lankan Tamils. And Mr. Swamy is mixing both and confusing everybody and misleading the whole debate. Now the question is, at Geneva, what India is going to do. In fact, my opinion is India has a moral responsibility. India should have taken a proactive role. India should have taken the lead. India should have worked on a resolution.
I want to know whether people are taking a position on this.
International investigation into war crimes.
I want to know. I want to know. I have a simple question. I want to know from you, Smriti Irani, since when do human rights violations and geostrategic interests, since when have we officially got the two mixed up? We seem to indicate here, Dr. Subramanian Swamy seems to indicate that because it serves our geostrategic interests on the one side, to be closer to the Sri Lankan government, therefore we should pretend that these human rights violations did not exist. Do you really agree with Subramanian Swamy? Do you agree with him, Smriti Irani?
I'm not here to agree or disagree with Dr. Swamy. I'm here to articulate the position of the BJP.
But he is a member of the NDA. You are a member of the NDA as well.
Yes, absolutely. But officially, I'm not designated to speak on the NDA, but on the BJP.
No, we expect that there would be some similarity of opinion.
Let me just say that any citizen who watches Times Now tonight will be repulsed by the fact that a 12-year-old boy was shot. In what circumstances that boy was shot is a matter of investigation. The BJP has always upheld the fact that the rights of Tamilians in Sri Lanka needs to be protected, and Tamilians in Sri Lanka need to live a life without discrimination and fear of violence. What is a matter of extreme concern for us, that a matter of international significance, which is coming to vote, is an issue on which the Indian government has failed to bring about a consensus.
No, forget the Indian government. I want to know your position. I want to know your position. You are the principal opposition party. Tell me where you stand today. There are human rights violations. People have been killed on the beaches. People have been killed. Not on the trenches, but in villages. People have been killed. Young children have been killed out there. What is your position?
As a member of the principal opposition party, in no way whatsoever can we support human rights violation in any part of the world. But let me say this, that as a responsible member of the opposition, let me also say that matters of foreign policy are not an opportunities to score political points. I think that what India needs
I think you're dodging the question.
Decisive stand.
I think you're dodging the question.
I'm not dodging the question. I'm not dodging the question at all. I have stated the BJP
should we vote against Sri Lanka if required?
In no way whatsoever.
Should we vote against Sri Lanka if required?
In no way whatsoever would support human rights violations.
No, should we vote against Sri Lanka or not? You see, I don't understand the ambiguity here. Should we vote against Sri Lanka or not?
I'm not being ambiguous. I'm being extremely responsible by saying that India's foreign policy is not a matter of scoring political points. It's a matter where political consensus needs to be brought about by the
I don't know if we are getting a clarity
that is
here.
Running the country. There's absolute clarity. This resolution or not is not an afterthought or not something that came into being this morning. The question is, why didn't the government of India, knowing that such a resolution is coming to vote, even bring its own principal allies into confidence?
Smriti, I know that the BJP loves it. The BJP loves it. I can understand. I can understand you.
Nobody can take.
You are enjoying the trouble between the DMK and the Congress. I am asking you to articulate your position tonight. Let me get into I'm going to come back to you.
Articulating my position.
No, should we vote?
I'm articulating my position. Nobody can be.
What is your position? Reveal your position, Smriti. Reveal your position. For or against Sri Lanka on this issue?
Very simple, Arnab. My position as a principal opposition and my responsibility is to respond to the stand of the government. The government has said today on the floor of the House that it will make the statement tomorrow morning.
Dr.
After the government makes its stand clear, I'm not ducking, I'm being extremely direct.
Ducking.
Like I said, I cannot use this opportunity to score political points.
I think you're ducking.
Somebody wishes me to.
I think you're ducking. I have great respect for you, Smriti, but I think you're ducking. I don't know why you're ducking. I don't know why you're ducking.
I'm not ducking the answer at all, Arnab. Like I said, nobody can seek solace in the death of a 12-year-old. But at the same time, as a responsible opposition member, one needs to know the stand that the Indian government will take. One needs to know why the government did not take its own allies and opposition parties into confidence.
This is exactly like the Lokpal issue. This is exactly like the Lokpal issue. Where till the very end you said, I want to know what is the position taken by the government. What is your position? Dr. Maitriyan, let me draw you in, please.
Our position is very clear. We are in no way supportive of human rights violations in
Neither is anyone on this panel. Neither is anyone on this. Nobody supports human rights violations. Less than 48 hours from now, we will have to take a position in the United Nations. Now, we can either take a position for human rights violations or against human rights violations. It's come down to that. Dr. Maitriyan, what should we do?
Our party has been very clear. My party's General Secretary, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Dr. Khurshid has made it very categorical that India should support the US-based resolution in UN Human Rights Council, and we should strongly condemn Sri Lanka. Now, we are talking about human rights violations. It is not some human rights violation which is happening in Angola or some other Tanzania and other places. It is happening in a place where the people affected are our umbilical cord brothers and sisters. And see, the war crime, it is not about only killing one 12-year-old boy. More than 40,000 Tamils were butchered, they were killed in a span of 2 or 3 days during the final phases of the war. So Sri Lanka cannot escape from the war crimes. And from 2009, we are now in 2012. 3 years, the government of India should have taken initiative, should have taken proactive measures to pressurize Sri Lankan government to take necessary actions about these war excesses. They have failed miserably to do so.
No, but Dr. Maitriyan, here's, let's get all points of view. Dr. Maitriyan, let me go across to Ms. Stanley. Ms. Stanley, thank you very much. What is your position? You know, Subramanian Swamy says that the LTT is a terrorist organization, right? Responsible for the killings of more than 2,000, 3,000 civilians in Sri Lanka, not to forget an Indian Prime Minister. Can we overlook that? Should that not be part of the debate? And will supporting the resolution against the against Sri Lanka amount to supporting the LTT? Will it amount to supporting the LTT at the United Nations?
How long will you...
1 minute. Let her reply. Yeah. Go on.
Yes.
Ms. Stanley, continue, please. Yeah, continue.
Yes. How long will he be distracting the main issue by telling the name of LTTs? Almost the whole Tamil people are being eradicated. There is genocide over there in Sri Lanka. Now, it is not the question of LTT or the Sri Lankan government who did the mistake. Okay. Maybe it is LTT also as per the LLR's report or whatever. Now the question is, the US has brought a resolution against the Sri Lankan government for human rights violation, and DMK is standing for the issue that that resolution brought by the US has to be supported by the Indian government. That's all.
No, but 1 second. 1 second. You want India to vote against Sri Lanka? US supported resolution. Let me ask you, Ms. Stanley, a very pointed question here. To you and Dr. Maitriyan, please answer me. To you and Dr. Maitriyan and Mr. D. Raja. You've taken 3 clear positions. Before I go across to Manika Tagore of the Congress Party. Who is America? Who is President Obama? What is the moral standing of the United States of America? A country that has committed the worst human rights violations in Guantanamo Bay, in Abu Ghraib.
This is again.
Are we supporting American hypocrisy? Let the Americans talk about Guantanamo Bay first.
Again, I tell you, you are distracting the issue.
Why?
India should have done this, and somebody is doing it.
No, aren't we?
Before the United UN's HRC.
No, I am simply.
And Norway is supporting it, who was very much there between the LTT and the Sri Lankan government.
So on a daily basis.
And France is also supporting.